This is too many burgers, Nicole. But like, it's just like that comfort food. Like being neurodivergent, it's sometimes really hard to eat. You know, like you get hyper fixated on certain things or you forget to eat, and so like sometimes it's just easy to be like, all right, cheeseburger.
And it's easy and simple and just,
you can get one on any corner of the
street. Exactly. It's literally.
So it's just.
You can even go to the grocery store and get a pre-made hamburger, you know, at Hy-Vee. So, no, I see that.
Right.
Heck yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the THEYSELF Girl Chat podcast. I'm super, super excited for this episode. I have an amazing woman on today, Nicole. Hello.
Hi.
I'm super excited to have you on and just to get to know you. So before we kind of get into it, so I've met you once, which we were in a photo shoot together.
Yes.
I want to say like a year ago.
A little over that, yeah.
It was crazy because it popped up on my memories and I'm like, oh my gosh, Nicole's gonna be on the podcast. No, so I think it's dope. And so ever since that photo shoot, that's when I started following you and your journey just on social media and but welcome. Hello.
Thank you.
Today we are eating Chinese food. I'm excited. I love Chinese food. So, do you like Chinese food?
Of course. How can you not?
Right. So kind of, who are you? For the people that don't know who Nicole is, we'll kind of just start there.
Sure.
And
So I grew up here in Sioux Falls. I've been here pretty much my whole life. Okay. I went to high school in a small town north of town, but and then went to college in Sioux City, Iowa, but then came back here after, working there for a year after college. And I've always been a big traveler. In college, I went on trips like almost every semester. I studied abroad, all that fun stuff. So really? Travel has always been like a huge part of my life. And so that kind of explains why I decided to call my blog Wanderer Nicole, because I like to wander.
So when did you start your blog?
So my blogging started in April of 2019.
So you've been doing it for a while.
It's been 3 years now. A little over 3 years. And I started it for a few different reasons. I had already been doing some fashion content prior to that. I was really there was this MLM, a fashion MLM that all these like middle-aged ladies were obsessed with. I don't know if you are familiar with like LuLaRoe. It's kind of gotten a bad name since then.
Was that is it kind of like a Lululemon or no?
No, it's like, it was one of those direct sales things, kind of like Mary Kay or things like that. They like sold leggings and skirts and dresses.
I think I remember that with different patterns and stuff.
Yes. Okay. So it was like some people loved them, some people hated them. I was very obsessed with like finding those like hidden gems, like the solid colors or like the really pretty florals and stuff. Like it was like my whole life for a while because I was living in a city where I didn't know anybody. Like all my friends after college had moved away. Like I was recently single. So like I was just like.
You were literally by yourself.
Yeah, I was just all alone in this like garden level apartment in Sioux City. And I was just like, that's what I did to like cope with, being so lonely was shop, which, got to be a little bit of a problem. But
hey, retail therapy, it's a real thing, okay?
So that was like, I was making all of these friends with these women through the groups that we shopped in, and they really liked how I would style the pieces. So I decided, instead of like being on my own personal Instagram page all the time, like posting all my outfits, because I'm like, oh, people are going to get annoyed with this, know, I decided to start a separate Instagram page to post those outfits. And I wasn't taking it very seriously, but I was telling all these middle-aged ladies who wanted my style advice to go follow me there. And that was like a year or two before I actually started like actually taking it seriously. So then in 2019, I had been following a few plus size content creators, and I had seen like, there was one in particular who was wearing a lot of clothes that like I thought personally, I was like, wow, that's so unflattering. Why would she ever wear that? Like, it's so weird. But then I started questioning why I thought that. I was like, well, why
Can I ask you what type of clothes or you?
Well, they were like, just like even just denim shorts, but like with like a crop top. So like, the belly would show more. Like she wasn't hiding her belly. She wasn't like hiding things that like society typically would like say is like, unattractive. Yeah. So started questioning like why I thought like she shouldn't be wearing those things and why I shouldn't be wearing those things. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to like take this page. I like renamed it to Wanderer Nicole. And I was like, I'm going to actually start doing this. Wow. And I wanted to, challenge myself to wear my first bikini because I had never worn a bikini in my like whole life. Even as a kid, I had never worn one. So I was like, you know what? If I like do this, it will help me get more followers. And so it'll like, it'll just like, I wanted to do what that other blogger was doing that was like inspiring me.
That's dope.
Yeah. So I did that and I just kind of like started, like making a community, like, I made a lot of friends. I found other plus size girls on Instagram who, were also trying to do blogging, fashion stuff. And we all kind of just like became this little cohort. And
so were you still in Sioux City at that time? Like when?
No,
I
was in Sioux Falls at that point. Okay. I had been back in Sioux Falls for about 2 years and I had literally just moved into a new apartment with one of my best friends, like who wanted to move to Sioux Falls too. Yeah. So I had just moved. So I had this, my brand new bedroom and brand new like walk-in closet, and so I was like, I'm gonna do. You're
like, this is my dream.
Yeah, like just like when
and really, my bad. You can go.
No. Like so basically, like when I have big life changes, I tend to just like pile onto them. It's
really,
like, big life change, moving into a new apartment, into a new part of town. Oh, let's add this other change, and like because I was pretty bored in my job I was in at the time, so like it was kind of like a nice creative outlet for me.
Yeah, just like something different too to get your creative juices flowing.
Exactly.
And stuff. And so like when you started, being in fashion and as a plus size model and stuff, did you like, how did your like friends and family kind of take it and stuff? Because especially here in Sioux Falls, it's a little different, like just for anything, like even just with a clothing brand and stuff, like it's different. So like how how did they take it? Or
I think a lot of them just thought it was more of a hobby. Okay. They're just like, like let her do her thing. They always knew that I liked to dress. Like I didn't dress super nice like most of my childhood or high school, but like towards the end of high school I started getting into like wearing, more cute clothes, quote unquote, and like in college I got more into it and stuff too. So I think they weren't really that surprised. Yeah. I think like some things that I have been navigating a little bit, like I've noticed a little bit of jealousy at some points, because like, I wish I could get free clothes from this brand. I wish I could get free this, that, like, and I try to like not rub it in people's faces. But I mean, for the majority, like even when I have had like noticed like maybe certain friends might be a little jealous, they're still like supportive. Like they'll still help me take my photos if I ask them to. They'll still like be even in videos with me if I ask them to. So like it's not like they're like vindictive or anything, but you can tell like there is a little bit of like, I wish I could do that, but it's like, well, you could if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I was girl, I was gonna say that because when it comes to friendships and a lot of people, they see what you're doing and nowadays too, like I consider you a social media influencer. And nowadays, everyone wants to be a social media influencer. And people find that cool and interesting and intriguing. And so when they see someone doing it, and I'm sure your friends are like, yo, what about me? Like, why can't I do it? But a lot of people don't realize that you had to put in a lot of work and time and effort. And you probably had to make a lot of sacrifices, I'm sure, too. Like, do you feel like you have?
Like, like the first couple years, it was like, every lunch break, I was going out and taking my outfit photos. Like every weekend, I was going out and like batching content. Like I would take like 5 outfits with me in my car. I would like hop around to different locations around like downtown and like Central Sioux Falls. And I would change in my car, or I would like, kind of like shimmy between outfits, like right outside my car.
Yeah. Like, and did you do this all by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah. Dang, so like, girl. And I was doing this like when it was, -30 wind chill, when it was 100 degrees. Like I was doing it in every like weather.
That's dope.
Like when the wind was so bad that like my tripod would like fly over.
I bet you're like.
Yeah, it's seriously like I have. You you wouldn't realize how much work it is until you actually try to do it. And it's really hard to portray that to somebody. They're like, oh, well, you're just putting on
having
outfits.
fun.
And but it's like, well, yeah, but I'm also like, I gave up like 5 hours of my weekend just to take the photos. And then it's like going through them and picking the ones I like. And then it's editing them. And then it's writing captions. And then it's engaging with people. And it's like, then, also, look, I have a boyfriend now that I need to spend time with. Oh, look, I have a like job. Like I was working remote for a long time, but then back to the office, you know, once COVID kind of started to die down. And I got a new job like last May was when I started my last job. And
so where was this job at?
In Sioux Falls.
Okay.
But like going from being home like all the time to then only being home for like 4 hours at night and then sleeping and then going to work and then 4 hours at night.
Wow,
it's like, when do you find time to like make content when you're doing that? And then trying to spend your weekend with your significant other or seeing your friends or hanging out with your pet. Like, you know, it's
how is that, you know, with your significant other? You guys are now engaged.
Yes.
So like, how has that been for him? Like, does he kind of understand that part of you? Like where it's like, or does he ever like feel like spend time with me? Like
no, he is not like selfish at all. He totally gets it. Like he is not a social media person. He hates social media. Like he has a Facebook page just like because his like fantasy football like group does it through a Facebook group, you know. But like otherwise like he has nothing to do with social media. But he understands it and he helps me brainstorm things like when
I love that.
You know, talking about like, oh, I need to like find ways to make money. He's like, oh, well, you could do this, you could do that. Yeah, you should try putting your content on TikTok and Facebook and not just Instagram. Like he like will talk through me with that stuff. Like he knows that like the potential of like how my business can grow. And so like, and he has taken plenty of photos and videos for me. Like we went, I did a collaboration with the Mall of America last December and he came with me and like he filmed all the clips I wanted for my, you know, reel and everything like that. He took all the photos. He basically followed me around all day.
I
was
love
like
that.
Shopping
like,
and trying on
being
clothes
open-minded about it too. And I'm sure he likes to see you in your element too. Like, wow, like that's my woman right there.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, it's awesome. Like, he does not care about fashion. All of his clothes are Walmart clearance section. Like, oh, that looks soft. I'll buy that for $5. Like that's his fashion. So it's really funny. Like if you see us out on the town on a date, like I'll be dressed, you know, like this in a cute little like skirt or dress or whatever, and he'll be like in just like you know, Lions t-shirt or something.
I love that though. Hey, girl, balance. Balance. You can be the fashionable one.
Exactly.
And you know, he can be the laid back one.
Yep. The one opening the doors
and
for real. Driving and so.
I love that, dude. Heck yeah. So when it comes to like girl, how do you stay creative and consistent? Like that right there is hard. Like even being a business owner and like having two people, it is extremely hard to stay consistent, to make sure your content, because I feel like nowadays, like whether it's building a personal brand or like, you know, a business, you have to be in people's faces. Otherwise you're like gonna they'll forget about you. And it's just, it's the hard reality truth. Like our brains literally nowadays are like, can only focus for like 5 to 10 seconds.
Like, honestly, like I do think keeping, you know, that point in mind, like people will forget about you. Like that can be a positive too, because like say you're having like a week where you're just like not feeling it and you just like can't do it. Like, they're gonna forget about you, but they're not gonna like not want you back when you come back the next week. Like they might not even notice that you were gone. So like I see a lot of people, they'll come on their story like, sorry, I've been MIA all week, I've been doing this and that. It's like, oh well, nobody really noticed, but like we're happy to have you back. But you don't need to explain like yourself or why you were gone. Like we'll just keep watching your content.
Hey, that's awesome. Thank you for saying that, because I'm a person that feels bad. Like I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, and explain why I was gone. And now I really like that perspective, how you're like, There's so many. There's like millions of creators on. So
it's like nobody really like. Some people might miss you just like if they consider you more like a friend and they're like looking for you. They might like reach out and be like, "Yo, where are you?" Like I know I've had a few like content creator friends where I've been like, "Wow, I haven't seen her stories in a long time," and then I'll like go to Twitter and I'll say that she's been tweeting and stuff, and so I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I like thought you disappeared. Like you weren't on Instagram. Where were you?" But it's just like. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Like as long as you come back and you're giving, you're not half-assing it. Like I love that. You're coming back and you're like giving it your full like attention instead of just trying to like put something out there that's not good quality.
Yeah. So do you believe in quality over quantity then?
Oh yeah. I know that's like not really the way things are going these days. I feel like when you talk like when you hear TikTok experts
or like Gary Vee, for example.
Yeah. Like they'll say like you need to be putting out content.
You're gonna get burnt out.
Okay, but like sometimes I'm scrolling TikTok and I'll see and I'm like, was there really a point to be wasting the last 30 seconds of my life watching that? Like, I don't want people to think that when they're watching my content. I want them to be engaged and feel like they got something out of it. Yeah. So, like, I guess with like the original question, like how do I stay creative? Like it's really hard some days and then it's really easy other days. I
feel that.
You know, like some days it's just like, oh, I don't have any content batched or ready to go. Like I don't know what to do. And then it's just like, well, just don't do anything then and like wait until you're creative tomorrow
like that.
or 2 days from now and
I'll just kind of go with the flow.
I'll put up a story at least like on Instagram, like at least stay like a little bit more present, like little video of me and my cat just like snuggling on the couch. Like,
I seen your kitty cat this morning. I was like, oh my gosh, so cute, like the fur and everything. Girl, I'm like,
she is a cutie, and everybody like it's funny. Like I feel like a lot of the people who consistently follow me and like watch my stories, like they're just as excited to see Luna as they are to see me.
And the name too, Luna. That's a beautiful name.
That was her name at the Humane Society. Okay, cool. So I just kept it because it seemed like it fit.
Right. So you just got one kitty?
Yes. Well, so my fiance has
do you have
one
a dog too.
My fiance has a cat and 3 huskies.
Oh wow! Yeah. So you guys are gonna be a big family when you guys move in. You'll have 3 huskies. Yo, huskies are so beautiful and like. Their eyes, like when they're like white and have blue eyes. Oh my god!
Yeah, he's got one white one with blue eyes, and then he has a black one with brown eyes, and then their son.
Oh wow!
Has one of each.
So it's a little family. Yeah. So it's a mom and a dad and a son.
Yes.
Yo, that's dope, and that's dope that he kept them together too.
Yeah, and they're pretty old now, so that makes it a little easier to take care of them. Yeah. But we got them groomed for his birthday last month. Like he hadn't gotten them groomed like I don't think ever. Oh, and so we went and got him groomed for his birthday. Took some pictures of them with him, since they're getting a little bit older, and they looked so good. Like when we picked him up from Mini Critters, I was like, who is that? Who is that dog?
You're handsome. You're beautiful. Yeah. Yo, grooming too be making your animals fresh.
Yes. It's nice, and there's been so much less fur all over the house now because they got, when they take them to the groomer with the huskies, they like do the air, like the opposite of a vacuum, whatever you would want to call that, like an air compressor.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And they like blow all the like loose hair out. So it's like, it's just been a dream because like I'm just like thinking to myself, like when we move in together, like there's so much husky hair, like my clothes. I don't know how I'm going to handle it. Like I already have husky hair all over all my clothes because I'm there every weekend and I take like clumps of fur home with me.
And you're like, dang it. No, that's funny. I love that. No, when it comes, so you recently just became a full-time social media content creator, influencer. Have you felt more pressure for that? Because of that, or like how has that been? And it's only been a week and a half. I'm like it's only been a week and a half, so how has that been?
Yeah, so there's definitely more pressure now that I need to make more income from Instagram, and I'm trying to keep a balance because it gets really easy to just be like sponsored post, like all in a row. But then like, are your followers gonna like that?
Yeah.
No, like they're gonna get really annoyed with you just like selling at them constantly, which like even
I've like noticed, good, guys.
Sorry. Like even with like you, like you're obviously like a business that's selling things, so you are trying to sell things. Like that's your point. But like you put out a lot of content that's not selling things.
Because I never want to be that seller. They say the best seller is when you are not actually selling, like you're telling stories through it. So
yeah. So like, you know, you're showing just like your everyday life. You're showing like different, like, you know, like life behind the scenes and all of that. Like, people don't want to just be sold to. So that's like where the balance comes in. Like, okay, well, if I'm going to have a sponsored post like every week in order to make my bills, then that means I need to make even more organic content to like go around all those things. So it's not just like, they don't feel like they're getting an ad over and over and over again.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
For like your content batches and stuff, like, how does that work? Like, do you like just a day, you just kind of like spend like a day and just create a whole bunch of content? Like, so, because girl, we even struggle with that. Like, it's hard.
It's very hard.
It's too, like, yes, this is something that we love, but it's draining. Yeah, it is.
So
but
I go in like different like phases. Like, obviously before I was with my fiance, I had a lot more free time because I was just me. Yeah. And so I would, like I said, like I would go out on the weekends and I would do like a whole day of like outfit. But that didn't really stay sustainable for me because like I want to be able to spend time with him on the weekends. Like, that's our main time. Like, since we don't live together yet, like I'm not trying to give up my like 2 days of like time. Yeah. So now, like, before I started doing this freelance stuff a week and a half ago, a lot of times it was stop on the way to work and like take my outfit video. Oh, so really? Like, because I drive through downtown, because I live like right by downtown right now. So
that's dope.
I would drive through downtown to my job, and so I would just like pull over at some spot downtown and I would just get my little tripod out and I would film my, you know, outfits.
That is dedication, girl. Yeah. Do you hear this? If Nicole can do it before going to work, you can do it too. Like, that is dedication. A lot of people don't want to do it. They don't want to take the extra time or effort. Like,
but it feels like inspiring. A lot of effort, but it really inspiring. Like it, once you kind of get a routine down, it's really not like it would maybe add like 5 minutes to my morning, because like a reel is like 30 seconds, right? Yeah. So like I just stop, set up the little tripod that I keep in my car all the time, and then like do my little like, you know, runway walk, twirl, and like that's it. And then like, you know, I would get to work and I try to get there a little early and then quickly like edit the like footage together, and then it's like ready for me to post whenever I feel like posting it.
Yeah, that's dope. Like that's a good way, you know, and like you said, kind of like a routine and stuff. So like outside of social media, like I know, like, do you consider like social media is kind of your life? Like, do you ever like get blurred like between like, wait a minute, like I need to take a step back and like focus on Nicole and who I am outside of social media? Like, how is that journey, you know?
So I find it pretty easy to do that, like especially now on the weekends when I'm like with my fiance, since he isn't a social media person. I like will just forget that like social media exists like for 24 hours. Like I'll be like, you know, I'll get the notifications on my phone if somebody messages me or whatever, but like I don't tend to look at my phone as much because like I'm focusing on being present. And so then like Sunday comes around and I'm like, oh wow, I don't even have any active stories on Instagram right now. I haven't posted in a while. Like, and then I'll just like quickly be like, hey guys, like check in, like how's your weekend going? And so I do find like for me it's really easy when I'm with people to like turn off the social media side.
Really? I struggle with that still. So
it can be kind of hard because sometimes I'm like, oh, but everything is content. Like I should be taking pictures. I should be taking videos. But then like, it's like, well, like like when you are a content creator and you make yourself available to people like 24/7, like if you think about it, like your followers are kind of like your boss because they're like how you get paid. And so like if you're letting them like always have you like 24/7, like 7 days
there's going to be no boundaries.
You're not gonna, you have no boundaries, and you're never going to get to have off time, and you're going to start to feel burnt out really fast.
I love how you said that because you know, as I was saying, I struggle with that a lot, and in my head, you know, oh, I need to, you know, be on social media and do this and do that. But I realized what I found, you know, is like I started becoming another version of me on social media because I thought that's what I wanted people to see. And now I'm finally like, I want to say honestly, like within the last 2 months, I've really like been intentional with like what I post, and I'm not posting every single thing. And maybe there's days where I want to post every single thing, but I had to switch that in my brain, like, oh, you know, and it was extremely hard for me. But I want to say the last like 2 months, I'm like, okay,
no, that's awesome.
Like I need personal time. I don't need to show everything.
Yeah, I think something that I really have like started doing probably in, I don't know, the past couple months, just because you see the way that content trends change. So like you're just constantly adapting. So now like that like vlog style like stuff is really popular, like documenting your day type stuff. You can document your day, but like not be on Instagram the whole day. Like just get clips.
Oh, I like that.
Get your clips throughout the day.
Advice.
Just kind of like do it. And then like that night or the next day, then you can edit them together, post it. Like you don't have to post it like in the moment.
Oh, I really like that.
There is some
advice.
value to posting in the moment sometimes. Like it can be fun to do that sometimes.
Yeah.
But also like just wait, post it like the next week. Like it doesn't have to be right now. Like who's gonna care that you posted this video the next week? Like you're the only one.
Exactly. And like, will someone really know? I mean, who cares if they notice?
Right. Well,
like,
it's like you know, I've got
I
I've got
really
content
like that
going
advice.
live this week. That's like, you know, it's a sponsored post with a grocery store in town. And
can we talk about sponsored posts? Like how, for people that want to know, that are wanting to get, I'm interrupting you and I'm extremely sorry. For people that want to know, they're like, oh my gosh, I want to, you know, make some money on Instagram. I have some audience and followers. How do you do that? Or what is your process of getting brands to work with you? Or did this just start happening? Because do brands, another thing, people think, oh, I only have this amount of followers, no one's going to take me serious. Do you believe that? Or is there some?
So the number of followers you have isn't necessarily like the key thing that you should be paying attention to. Yep. So I come from a marketing background. My double major was photography and English, which doesn't sound like marketing. I had a minor in advertising as well. But like all of my jobs I've had since graduating college have all been social media marketing in some capacity. Yeah. So you have to know like what value you bring. So you could have 50,000 followers on Instagram, but if they are all in China and they're all men, no brand is going to want to advertise.
That's good.
Like if you're trying to sell your clothes, like would you pay somebody whose following was all Chinese men?
No. Yeah.
And so like you have to be really vigilant on curating the audience that you want. I know a lot of people don't do this, and a lot of people don't know about it or think about it. It's like one of those things where like to me it's very obvious coming from the background that I'm in. But like I have spent the last 3 years every single day I go through my followers and I remove men and I remove anybody like who's from a country that could never buy
intentional you are with that.
So my growth was very slow. It took me like almost 3 years to get over 20,000 followers. Like I went from like being stuck at 8,000 followers for like almost 3 years.
That's me right
now. To like blowing up. Like, so that's
me with 6,000.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I can't. And I'll get some growth here and there, but I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You know, but
last October was when Instagram started their like Reels bonus program. Have you heard about this?
I have heard about that. And I tried because it says that I'm eligible to do it. But like They're
not offering it to you.
Yeah. I'm like,
why? It's still technically in beta, so like nobody really knows like what they're doing. Like Meta is like off doing their own thing, you know. Like,
who knows what? Yo, hey, soon, girl, we gonna be in the Metaverse. We gonna be sitting on a couch. We're not even gonna go outside.
We're gonna be like interviewing each other like from our own house. Yeah.
For real. How crazy is that? Oh my god.
But anyway, so like they did offer that to me. And I was at around like 8,000 or 9,000 followers. And so that really motivated me to like put out even more content than I was before. Like once money was involved, I was like, oh, I'm posting every day. I'm posting multiple
times a day. I'm getting my bag.
So I love that. I started like growing faster, and then December comes and I'm just like, I'm like gaining multiple thousands of followers a day for a while. I was just like, I was overwhelmed because it was both supportive people, but then also like the trolls started coming in just as fast. So it was like so hard for me to like, I was like not even wanting to go on Instagram some days because I'm like, all I'm going to do is I'm going to get on, I'm going to see a comment about how my skirt is too short and how I'm too fat and, you know, all this stuff. Like, you know, so I'm like, I don't even want to go look at it because I know it's going to be a negative experience. Even though I was gaining so many real followers at the same time, it was just like really frustrating because as soon as you start to get success, then like the trolls also come. So and like,
Speaking of that, okay, so since we're on this topic, someone wants to ask you a question, and it's kind of about that. So it is silly_rabbit88 asked you, how does she deal with the negative feedback, if any being someone who is on a platform? So how do you deal with the negative feedback?
So I honestly, like, I have pretty thick skin. Like, I don't let things like that get to me very often. Like, you know, it's just like, nobody can say something to me that my own like inner voice hasn't already said to me. Like, you know, growing up, like being plus size my whole life, you know, it's like my own self has already said all these things to me, and I've already kind of like shut that down. So for me, I am more about protecting my audience from having to see that and experience it, because it can upset them. Like, say like I have a lot of followers who are like, I follow you because you have like the exact same body type as me. I never see anybody, you know, like in the media or models or anything like that. I
love that
like
about
me.
you. Yeah.
So like, they're like, thank you. But so then I don't want them to see the comment saying like, you're fat and ugly, you know? So like my whole thing is I just, you know, block and delete like instantly most of the time. Sometimes I've got the energy. Like that. Sometimes I've got the fire. Sometimes I got to
depends on your mood that day.
Yeah, sometimes like I got the time. So like sometimes
I love that
like,
too.
Ever since like the Reels bonus started, like I'm less likely to block them immediately. I'd rather like make them come and see my video a few more times.
Because you're making her money in the long run.
And so like sometimes I'll let it go for a while, and I'll like have a whole like, you know, argument with them. I quote unquote argument, because like they don't have anything valid to say. They're just trying to be a bully because they want some sort of validation from being mean to people, which I don't understand.
I never understand that either. It's like
we're just not that kind of person. Like we're just like, no, let's lift people up. If you don't like somebody, then just ignore them. They don't exist.
Exactly. Like But hey, you know, everyone has their own traumas and stuff. So we never really know what they're going through. They're probably going through something extremely hard, and they're like, I want to take it out on someone, so let me take it out on someone who has a light around them and who is shining. And but I'm glad that you don't take that to heart, because I know a lot of the times people do take that stuff to heart, and it is hard, you know, and I know I have in the past. And so I like how you're like, they don't know who I am, so.
And usually it doesn't, it can't affect me. There's only been one instance where a bully actually, like, affected my life. And it actually, like, this person.
When was this?
It was very recent. So this person had some darkness. I don't know what was wrong with them, but they just did not like me. And they.
Was this in person or on social media? Or both?
So it was a person who knew me in person, but didn't actually know me because they never actually like talked to me. They just, you know, didn't like me from the first moment they saw me for some reason.
They see your light.
So they actually got really mad about a sponsored post that I did on my page, and they actually like brought it to my employer. And that is kind of the reason that I decided to go full-time content creation, because they made such a stink about something that had nothing to do with them or my employer. And, you know, like, if you wanted to find out who I work for, you would have to dig. Like, it's not like just out there. So this person was very upset that I was being successful and happy. And
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's like, obviously I can't go into all the details, but like, it made me realize, like, wow, there really are people out there who just want to see other people's lives like crash and burn
Yep.
just because they don't like them.
Oh, girl. Oh, yeah. Because I feel that deeply. I feel really emotional right now because I feel that extremely deeply, and it just like you said, like why?
Yeah.
Why?
So, you know, but like I said, most of the time, nobody can really affect my real life. Yeah. And so it's like, don't even give them that satisfaction or like attention that they're craving. Like, just
because that's what they want. That's what they want too, you
Yeah.
know, is that.
And when you have enough people in your life who
Are
counteract
positive,
that and are positive, like, you just can't, like, they can't shake you, you know? Like, if you're that, like, it can't.
And this is extremely true too. Hurt people.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds so cliche, but it's true. Like, it's
right.
just,
Like, I could never imagine, like, even like when I've told people like more of the details of that situation, like a lot of people immediately are just like, wow, like I wish that we could get that person back. Like, I wish we could do something to that person to like make them pay for what they did. And I'm just like, that literally never crossed my mind.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that this person could, you know, find a way to not be so miserable.
And mean.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah.
So, but
I'm glad that you overcame that though, girl, and you're just, you know how to. And and two, you're like, I like how you're like, no, I'm not gonna like put revenge back on her her or him or whoever.
Yeah,
but
and I can't censor myself. Like, I'm not going to let somebody say like, you're allowed to post this but not this. You're, you know, like, so you can post a picture in your underwear but you can't post like an ad for a sexual wellness product.
Did your employer say that was wrong of you to do something like that?
Not exactly, but because
I don't agree with that.
I know.
Sorry.
No, it's very complicated. But essentially, like, because the employer is run by like a board of directors. The board of directors gets to make a decision, even if the people who I work for directly don't agree with it. Then you know, and I had a choice. I had a choice. I was like, I either remove that post and I don't do things like that again, or I could quit.
Yeah,
or
and you
be
chose.
fired.
Did you quit then?
I did quit.
Yeah,
because
you're out here inspiring and empowering women to love their body and be who they are. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. And I don't understand why granted, it's
a generational thing. So, like, all these boomers don't understand.
Have to change
Yeah,
it. Like,
exactly.
For real, because when I see your stuff, I'm just like, hell yes, I love it. You know, I think it's so empowering. And
some people don't want to be empowered though.
Yeah.
Some people, it's just like the mindset they grew up with, that like women don't do these things.
Yeah.
You know, like women don't talk about sexuality. Women don't show their bodies. Like it's very much a generational thing. And, you know, growing up in a certain type of environment thing, like you can't really change their mindset.
Sioux Falls is very conservative, just saying. And I love Sioux Falls. I love the community, but just from observing, it is a very conservative state for sure.
Yes,
so
yes.
we're changing that though. The way I said it too.
Yes.
With slang.
I went out and I voted yesterday, even though all I had to vote for was an amendment, you know? Like,
and hey, you still,
won.
yeah.
And
oh, wait. Girl, okay, I know I'm an adult, but I do not get into politics because I'm scared. He is actually starting to like get into politics and stuff. I know, I need to. He's like, you need to start. You about to be 25. Like,
it's really important to be like, every vote matters so much in this state because of how conservative, like, because of the way that the districts are so like Sioux Falls would have a lot more power if districts were made differently, you know?
Really?
So like,
see, I don't even know any of this. I feel
I
very immature right now. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Like, so,
teach me.
So like, you know, it's not as much of a big deal here in South Dakota, but in some states, like, so say there is a community that is like 80% Black and they are like 70% liberal.
Okay.
So there's this thing called gerrymandering where like these conservatives will split that community into like 3 different districts, which makes their voting power less.
Wait, is that good or bad?
It's bad.
That's bad.
It's bad because like, so if
that's
all those
really
people
bad.
were voting in the same district, they could pass something really easily. But because they're splitting them into small groups where they're lumping them in with a bunch of conservative white people.
That is so bad.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I'm like
totally
processing.
like off topic.
No, it's
like,
okay. We can get into all of this, but like I didn't know that.
So you being like, you know, a white woman, like you.
I'm Hispanic
like,
too.
Okay, true. You just come off as white, but yes, sorry. Don't mean to like miss
ethnicity. I don't know.
Anyway, like our votes have a little bit more power in a lot of places, like maybe not here, but in other places because of like how they do these districts. So like getting out and voting is actually like extremely important so that you can have a voice in how things are happening. And yesterday was it was a Republican primary yesterday. So like obviously I had nothing to vote for as a non-Republican, but they snuck in an amendment onto that ballot as well. So they were trying to amend our South Dakota Constitution to change a law. So it was really important for even the Democrats to go out and vote, because even though we had no people to vote for, no primaries to vote for, we had to like say, no, we don't want this amendment to happen, because it would have blocked like in November we're going to vote to expand Medicaid for like more kids and stuff to get more coverage.
That's awesome.
But if this amendment would have passed, it would have made it harder for us to pass that new thing. So it's just like voting is very important, and I know it can be very intimidating, and I
learning about
I grew up in a conservative household. I grew up Republican, and then in college kind of like had this epiphany, like, wait, I don't believe in any of that stuff. I believe in the other stuff.
I love how confident you are. Wow. You can just tell, like, sorry for we got 10 minutes. Okay. We can talk all day. But like even seeing you drive up and stuff, like just your confidence, I'm like, I love it. Like you walked in here, y'all, she had her music blasting. Like I just think it's dope. Like I really admire that.
Thank you. Because I definitely did not always have
not trying to be cheesy.
No, I mean it takes, like, you have to realize basically like what reason do you have to not be confident? Yeah. Like why? Because people will be like, oh, I love your confidence. Like, okay, but why shouldn't I be confident?
Exactly.
Like, because a lot of people use that as like oh, I love that you're fat, but you still like can wear clothes. It's like you're like cute clothes. Like that's how it kind of comes off sometimes, and it's like kind of cringy. Like yours did not come off that way.
I swear, like, because I'm confident, but I struggle with. I think it's self-esteem. I think owning my power in who I am. I know I'm a businesswoman. I love the business world and all of that, but there's times where I am scared to like fully step into that power because I don't want to come off as too bossy, or like, especially like when I do like collaborations and stuff, like I'm always like, sorry if I'm being too bossy. And I'm like, and then in my head, I'm like, I should own this. Like,
that's
I am a creator. Like, I'm a leader. Like, it's okay as long as I'm not like, go do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like,
but if you think about it, like that's a societal thing with like kind of a misogynist thing. Like, would you think that it was weird if like Tyler was like saying, go do that thing?
No.
Like, you wouldn't think he was being bossy.
No.
But if you do it, you think you're being bossy because you've been like taught that women aren't supposed to be that way.
And I feel that way around other women though too. Like, because I don't want them to be like, oh my God, she's too this, too that. So I'm always like,
tiptoeing around.
Yeah, like,
no, I get it. I'm like, so we both were talking earlier about how like we're control freaks and we like to like be in charge. In the same way. So say I'm doing a collaboration with like 5 other content creators. We're doing like a little reel where we all show our little outfits or whatever it is. Like that happens a lot. And I have a hard time with that because I want to just take charge. Even if I'm not the one who came up with the idea, I am like, okay, I know you guys are great, but I know that you're going to mess this up.
I swear, girl, that is me too. And in my head, I feel bad for a second, but I'm like, I know I'm going to do it. Like, not better, but like just...
Honestly though, like it comes from experience sometimes, because like sometimes like I've been in these collaborations where it's like, okay, here's the instructions, here's how to do it, here's how to film your thing, here's where to upload your thing, here's what's gonna happen, and then people still do it wrong. So that's what makes me just want to be like, okay, I need to step in and I need to like make sure you guys do it right. And
hey, we gotta own that too, okay?
You know, like bossy or bitchy or whatever it is that like word that we want to use. Like it's just like if you are good at something,
that's your gift.
You should offer that to people, and you shouldn't feel bad about it.
Yeah, thank you. That's good advice.
But I'm struggling with it too. Like even I can give the advice, and I can still struggle with it. Like you know, right now I'm like out here. I'm writing up my like kind of like my business plan a little bit. Trying to get all of like the services that I want to offer, because I don't want to just do like content creation for myself. I want to do it for other businesses. So like trying to figure out like how I'm going to pitch businesses, how I'm going to do everything. And it's scary because I have that imposter syndrome even. So
it's same. So especially with this podcast, I'm trying to pitch like local restaurants and stuff to sponsor this. That has been hard. At first I was like, oh, I got this. And then going in, I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah, it's scary.
My hands sweaty and like, yeah, no, but I really, thank you for that. And hey, we are confident, okay, guys? So don't use that against us because, hey, no, we just, we're human. We're human.
And even if we're bossy, that doesn't mean that we think that you're incompetent.
Yes.
Like, we just want to help, and we want to make sure things go smoothly. And it's really hard to turn that off.
We have big ideas.
Yeah. I struggle a lot because I don't want people to not like me. Yes. I want to be likable. So it's just like, okay, I want to give the suggestion, but I don't want her to hate me. Yeah. So how do I do this?
Like, how do I do it in a way? Yeah. But hey, again, that's our gift. Like, and that's okay, So, yes, well, awesome. Y'all, we are already out of time. Wait, I want to ask you one more question.
Okay.
For anyone who is wanting, I don't know if I asked you this. For anyone who is wanting to be a content creator, what's like a really good advice that you could give them?
The first thing that you need to do is like define your why. So the first part is defining why you want to do it. Why are you doing this? What is the purpose? The second why is why would somebody follow you? What is somebody getting out of that? Like, why does somebody want to click that follow button? What are they getting out of it? And then the third is why would a brand want to work with you? So what are your followers like? Who are your followers? How are they interacting with you? What is the quality of your content you're putting out? So you need to define those whys first, and then it'll be really easy to kind of get that off the road. Whatever the phrase I'm trying to.
Off the ground.
Thank you.
Hey, off the road is
you're driving, you're going. So yeah, I mean, if you can get those things down, and then don't just immediately be like, brands work with me. You need to make content with your own stuff first. You need to invest. If you're not willing to invest in yourself, then why would a brand be willing to invest in
that
you?
Right there? Ooh, that's a gem. Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. I'm excited to put this out, and I really do think you gave a lot of value and just inspiration and empowerment. So
awesome.
I appreciate you coming on. Thank you. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Yo, that was awesome. I wanted to keep talking.
We could have talked for 3 hours.
No, I'm like, I want to keep going.
I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, a podcast shouldn't be over 40 minutes. We're talking for a long time.
I know. Babe, how long was that?
I don't know.